Usually I'm rooting for you, but today I gotta root against you and instead root for Torben to get his deck. So, high roll?
Sure, sorry Torben, I'll do my best to win. That's the rules of competitive Magic.
Welcome to the Cardmarket feature match where we give you modern decks.
Yep, we asked for your best sub 100 euro modern decks and you certainly delivered.
The caveat is that you went into this knowing that your deck would have to be Andrea Mengucci playing his signature Murktide list.
And I have to say, that's gonna be a tough task. But many of you metagamed the challenge because, well, you knew you were gonna go up against Murktide, so I'll give it my best.
Hello everyone, I am back in the Cardmarket studios playing my favorite modern deck, Blue Red Murktide. This is a deck that I've been playing for so much time. I have over 70 videos on my YouTube channel on this deck. I played it at the Prague tournament recently, and I came here. Carl asked me, Mengu, you need to bring your best deck in Modern, so here I am. I'm the bad guy.
Today I get to play Torben's submitted deck, which is mono black zombies on a budget. The deck plays so many nostalgic cards like Gravecrawler, Carrion Feeder, and some of the newer synergies like Undead Augur and Champion of the Perished. All in all, it's a recursive aggro deck that even has a combo finish to top it all off between Carrion Feeder, Putrid Imp, and Thran Vigil, the new enchantment from Brothers War. Well, you're not doing a lot right now. 5, I can easily beat that.
Okay. For the viewers at home, I already played Yamin last year with Murktide and I lost, so today I'll get revenge.
Maybe I can go 2-0 against Murktide? We'll see. This hand is awesome. It's got the curve, it's got the combos, it's got everything. All right, this is as good as they come. I'll keep this.
4 spells, 3 lands, that's a keep. Plus it has Ledger Shredder, which is an excellent play against most decks in the format, which I don't know what's Yamin playing, but this is a keep for me. Go ahead.
I was hoping for a mulligan.
No.
I'll play a Swamp.
No mulligans here.
And I'll start off on a Gravecrawler.
Okay.
Now Gravecrawler, 1 mana, 2/1 zombie that can't block. Doesn't seem so great, but I can cast it from my graveyard as long as I control another zombie in play. Go ahead.
So you have a zombie strategy over there.
Maybe I'm also just playing 1 mana, 2/1s.
Okay, I'll start with a Sparbluff Canal, which is a blue-red land untapped, and pass to you.
I'll untap, and I'll draw. All right, I'll start off my turn by attacking with the Gravecrawler.
Take 2.
Let's see you take 2. I'll play a Silent Clearing.
Wow.
And I guess I'll play an Undead Augur next, taking 1, down to 19.
Sure.
Now that one is a 2 mana 2/2 zombie wizard, and whenever it or another zombie I control dies, I draw a card and I lose 1 life.
I don't need to know what it does. I have a spell in the air.
No!
To counter it.
I hate spells there.
Counter a spell with converted mana cost exactly 2. And when you're on the draw, great card.
Oh, it's so rough playing against it. Go ahead.
You know, balances the misfortune of losing the die roll. I'll just go Misty Rainforest and pass to you.
That seems suspicious.
I have nothing.
All right, well then I'm
And then you're
all
sure
good.
now.
Yeah. No worries. I'll take my draw.
Yes.
First things first, I gotta get into the red zone with the Gravecrawler again.
You attack again. I think this time I will take the... Okay, so Gravecrawler is super annoying against the removal spells, of course, because it can come back. So I can't really use this removal spell here. I have to wait to clean the whole board and hope that Yamin doesn't have follow-up zombies. No, actually, I'm taking it.
All right.
I'm taking it. I have nothing. That was just a bluff.
Yeah, okay, good bluff.
Thank you, thank you.
I see how you won the Mythic Championship. Down to 16. I'll follow it up with a Champion of the Perished. A callback to Champion of the Perished. Whenever another zombie enters the battlefield under my control, I put a +1/+1 counter on Champion of the Perished.
That's fine.
I'm very afraid of counterspell here, so I'm not gonna run out the Thran Vigil. Instead, I'm gonna keep up Fatal Push into Mengu's turn. You know what? I'll play Silent Clearing, another one, and pass the turn.
You passed to me. Okay. I'll fetch down to 15. Pick up a snow-covered island, which is the same as an island, but just a little bit prettier. End of turn, I would like to bounce your Gravecrawler.
Consider it in my hand.
Okay. Untap and draw.
Yep.
I'll fetch again, go down to 14. Pick up another island.
Is this a Blood Moon coming?
Oh! It will be fun. No, it's not. It's a Ledger Shredder. This is a Bird Advisor flying. Whenever you cast your second spell, you can draw and discard. If you discard a spell, I will put a counter on it. And I will play a second spell that is an Unholy Heat. 2 damage to the champion.
So before that resolves, you get to draw and discard.
Okay. And I will discard a Steam Dance. So no counter.
Alright, so my champion gets Unholy Heated, and that leaves you with 3 cards in hand.
Yes, and I pass to you.
At the end of turn, I'll take another one, down to 18. This used to be not a budget inclusion, but by now I think it's a little bit more affordable. Fatal Push. I'll destroy target creature if it has converted mana cost 2 or less.
Go ahead.
Keeping up push paid off big time. Oftentimes against Murktide, it's all about making them spend their mana inefficiently and them tapping out for a Ledger Shredder only for me to push it. Huge! I'll untap and I'll take my draw. I'll play a Swamp, and since you're tapped out right now, I think it's my time to resolve a new enchantment from Brothers War.
Whoa, what's this?
Thran Vigil. Whenever 1 or more artifacts and or creature cards leave my graveyard during my turn, I put a +1/+1 counter on any creature I control. And I'll follow that up, taking the 1 off the Silent Clearing, 17. I'll replay my trusty Gravecrawler. And I'll take another one, down to 16, emptying my hand, casting a Carrion Feeder. Now, my creatures they can't block, but this one I can sacrifice any creature and put a +1/+1 counter on itself. Go ahead.
Okay, so you're Hellbent, but you have those 2 Tile Clearing, which are much better than a Swamp.
Yeah, they are.
Definitely worth the price. Let's begin with a Consider. This is a cantrip. Look at the first card. I can choose to put it in the graveyard or in end. This is good. I'll draw it.
That makes me very afraid.
You should be. So if I kill a creature on my turn, this one does nothing.
No, it's also only if my cards leave the graveyard. So, for example,
exiled.
if they get exiled,
Or come
or
back.
if I cast them.
Okay, that's an interesting deck building. Well, unfortunately for you, you will not get to do anything of that, as I get to Lightning Bolt the
Carrion Feeder? Alright, it's gone, it's sad. I kind of expected this to happen though.
Yeah. We have a Lightning Bolt for that. And then I'll play a Steam Vents untapped, going down to 12 and pass to you.
Alright, if I could take any card right now, I'd take another Carrion Feeder, please. Ding! I guess first things first, I'll crack a Silent Clearing to take another draw.
Very strong. The power of rares.
It's time to head into the red zone again.
2 damage. I go to 10.
Down to 10. I will cast a backup Gravecrawler. Can't have too many of those. And play a backup Swamp. You can have too many of those. Go ahead.
You pass to me. Man, now this is difficult because your creatures return very easily. Yeah, I'm just untapping here. And draw. Okay, that's good.
No!
That's very good top deck. Expressive Iteration. Sorcery, you may look at the top 3 cards, 1 in hand, 1 at the bottom, 1 in the exile zone, and I can play it destroy. Just freshly banned in Legacy. Okay. I'll exile a Ledger Shredder.
Okay.
Put this in my hand, put this on the bottom. I'll play a 1/3, which is pretty strong in this board state.
Yeah.
You've already seen it before. I cast a second spell, it gets pumped, but it's not now. And I pass you.
Alright, at the end of turn, I'll crack the Clearing. I want to have more cards in my hand. Let's see. I'll untap. I'll draw. Alright, finally Mangu tapped out. I can resolve some spells. I've got 2 Gravecrawlers.
Yeah.
They'll always come back. I'll attack with both of them.
I'll block 1. I go to 8.
You go to 8. This one dies. Luckily, not for long. I'm gonna bring it right back. And because a creature leaves my graveyard, now I get to put a +1/+1 counter on my other Gravecrawler.
Nice.
And then I'll play a Castle Lochthwain. This deck just pimped out with utility lands.
Basically, yeah, all the money in the lands.
And I'll cast a Nantuko Husk. Now, Nantuko Husk is a 3-mana 2/2 zombie that lets me sacrifice any creature to give it +2/+2 until end of turn. Unfortunately, it's also a second spell.
Yes, so I'll draw and discard with my Shredder.
You will.
Okay, looks like this. Looks like this Ragavan can be discarded. I don't need it. It's like almost your budget. Almost your entire budget, but I don't need it.
It does feel like it. Go ahead.
Untap and draw. This is a good card. Okay, let's begin. I'll show you the power of my deck.
That was what I was afraid of last turn.
With a Murktide Regent, which is a 2-mana, 8/8 flyer. Actually, I'm gonna leave this iteration here just for delirium purposes. Only 4 spells, so it gets +4/+4.
So it's only a 7/7 flyer.
Yes, but I haven't finished. I will also play a Season Pyromancer, which is my second spell of the turn. So I'll draw this card first.
Yeah.
I'll discard a land to the Shredder, and then to the Pyromancer, I discard up to 2 cards in hand. I only have 1. It's a Lightning Bolt, and I draw 2 cards.
Yeah, and because you discarded a non-creature spell, a card,
I will make a 1/1 Elemental, which I don't have, but I have a token of myself.
Oh, that's a very handsome token.
Yes. So you're old token, but you know. What a turn! This is why you spend money to build a blue-red Murktide deck in Modern. This was my turn. What do you think about my turn?
Medium.
Average Modern turn, yes. I'll stay back, but why not? I'll play an Otawara. And pass the turn.
Murktide Regent, as the namesake card of the deck, is the biggest threat against me because A, it's a huge blocker the turn it comes into play, and B, it's a huge threat to my life total, ending the game quickly so I can't even outgrind Andrea with, sacrificing stuff and bringing it back and all things like that. All right, I'll untap and I'll do my best.
Yes.
Let's see. I'll take my draw. That's actually quite the good draw. I'll tap 3, no spell piercing here. Also, no spell snaring. No spell anything at all. It's a headless rider.
Wow.
That's a pretty new one from Crimson Vow. It's a 3-mana 3/1, and whenever it or another non-token zombie I control dies, I create a 2/2 black zombie creature token. Before combat, I'll sacrifice this Gravecrawler to the Nantuko Husk. So right now it's a 4/4. I also get a zombie token along the way.
Very nice.
I'll recast the Gravecrawler.
Draw this card.
I guess you will.
Discard the spells in the air, which,
Didn't turn out to be that useful. But because a creature left my graveyard, I also get to distribute a counter. I'll put that counter on the Nantuko Husk, actually.
Okay, so it's a 5/5.
Right now it's a 5/5, and then the Husk itself gets to attack.
My Andrea Mengucci token will sacrifice.
So valorous.
For the cause.
And that's your turn.
On top. And draw. Okay, that's a good draw. I'll play another Shredder.
All right, we're just playing for the board here.
Yeah, and then no flyers, even though this thing looks like it flies.
Yeah, at least its head is up there somewhere.
Oh, okay, but it can't block a Murktide Regent. So
It cannot.
let's attack for 7. You go to 9, and it's your turn.
So at end of turn, I think I will have to sacrifice both of my Gravecrawlers to get as many zombie tokens without summoning Sigmas into play.
Okay.
I'll have 1, 2 zombie tokens.
Okay.
I'll go into my turn.
Yes.
Untap and draw. So first things first, I will have to check for counter spells or the likes, because I really don't like those. I'll cast a Plague Belcher. Now Plague Belcher, you probably haven't seen that one in a while.
I haven't.
It's a 3-mana 5/4 with Menace from Amonkhet. And when it enters the battlefield, I have to put 2 -1/-1 counters on a creature I control. And then whenever another zombie I control dies, each opponent loses 1 life.
Well, it's a cool card.
Yeah.
Too bad.
No, I hate
counter
counter spells, Andrea. Don't do that to me. That's a rough one.
Yes.
that's very unfortunate. Now, I will still return this grave crawler from my graveyard. And by doing so, first, both of your Ledger
Right.
Shredders trigger.
Right, so let's go. First one, second one.
Oh, both lands. I'm not even sure if I'm supposed to be happy or not happy about this.
Yeah.
The second +1/+1 counter here probably goes onto the Headless Rider. So I think with the flying menace that is Murktide Regent, I have no other choice but just to swing in with everything.
Sure, I'll make some blocks not to die, and then I will attack back. 4 damage.
Yep, it is.
So I go to 4.
Down to 4.
So
The
this one
Pyromancer dies.
and that one dies.
This dies, which leaves me with another 2/2 zombie token.
Sure.
And unfortunately, I have to say, it's your turn.
Tap, draw, and attack with everybody.
Yeah, that's lethal. Game 2.
Good game.
For sideboarding, most games against Murktide kind of resolve around both players' mana efficiency. That coupled with the fact that Murktide has a lot of counterspells in the deck, I will take out all Diabolic Intents because A, they're not very mana efficient. They basically say 2 mana, do nothing. And B, if they get countered, that's really bad. Instead, I bring in 2 Duress because, well, there's a lot of non-creature spells in the Murktide deck, and then also 2 Infernal Grasp because those are clean answers to Murktide Regents, which, as I said, they're a huge threat.
All right, we got the first, and now it's time to bring in the Engineered Explosives, the Fury. Unlicensed Thirst looks excellent against those Grave Crawlers, and then one more Season Pyro. You can consider bringing in the Dress Down, but I figured that it's not as impactful. Plus, I don't really want to take out too much. Spell Pierce is not good, Blood Moon not good, but Spellsnare, I guess, you know, maybe on the draw, it's fine, but Yummy deck plays a lot of 1-drops. In 1 channeler, why not? Okay, let's go.
I'd like to try my luck going first again.
Good luck.
This hand is very similar to my hand in game 1. Unfortunately, it doesn't have the Grave Crawler, but I can live with it. Champion of the Perished, once it goes beyond a 3/3, might also be very hard for Andrea to deal with. Yeah, I think this is another good one, though I thought so last game too.
Another excellent hand here, 4 spell, 3 lands. Engineered Explosives is an excellent card in the matchup. This is it for me, I'll keep it. And this is fine, I can keep it.
I'll start on a swamp again and cast a Champion of the Perished. Go ahead.
I'll take a draw. Ever since they made Ledger Shredder and we play 4 in our deck, you don't want to play a turn 1 bubble to just look at your top card, shuffle, you know, do the little bubble trick. You want to wait because if you draw Ledger Shredder, then it gets much better, your bubble. So just wait for a turn and then bubble on turn 2. Alright, I will play a Sparbluff Canal and pass the turn.
That's suspicious once again, Andrea.
Do you have any 2-drops?
I'll untap, I'll draw. Drawing the Gravecrawler is huge because this way I get to play 2 1-drops to avoid the Spell Snare this time. I mean, even if Andrea doesn't have it, just putting 3 creatures on the board seems very good. I'll cast a Gravecrawler.
Oh, great. Yeah.
Spell Snare that.
No, I can't.
So the champion gets a counter. I'll play a Silent Clearing,
Yes.
go down to 19, and cast a Carrion Feeder. Kinda like last game, but this time with a champion. I assume it resolves and the champion goes to 3/3?
Yes.
3 coming your way.
17. I could play a turn 1 Unholy Heat on his champion, although I have these Engineered Explosives in my hand that I'm gonna be able to clean the whole board with. Obviously I have to take some damage in, but remember, life total is a resource. So let's take the damage and then use the Unholy Heat later on something else after the Explosives does a good old 3-for-1.
Go ahead.
That's a strong start.
I think it's one of the most aggressive starts the deck can have.
Reminds me of the Hulkak days.
Oh yeah, good days.
Those cards were
Yeah.
the strongest deck in Modern.
Yeah.
For a
My only
while.
Grand Prix top 8.
Ooh. So your post stage is not the most friendly one I've ever seen. I'm gonna start by bubbling myself here. So Mishra's Bubble, look at the top card, and then in your upkeep I draw a card.
All right, seems strong.
Of course with fetch lands I can control it.
So do you have a fetch land to shuffle away the top card?
I have, but I don't think I want to shuffle it. I'll still play it though.
All right.
And pass to you.
The open mana here seems very suspicious to me. I'll untap.
Draw?
Yep. And I'll take my draw.
Yes.
I'll play Swamp.
Yes.
And this almost feels like it's a forced counterspell. I'll have to go for it anyways. Also, that would mean you take a lot of damage. I'll cast an Undead Augur.
So what does it do?
Whenever it or another zombie I control dies, I draw a card and I lose 1 life.
Yeah, that's going to be a counter spell from me.
Yeah,
So I'll go down to 16 and cast it.
Yep. So this one goes away. But at least that means I get to crack in for a lot of damage.
How much?
6 in total.
I got a 10.
Go to 10. And then my turn's not over because I will sacrifice the Gravecrawler to the Carrion Feeder to put a +1/+1 counter there. And then taking 1 will return it from the graveyard, which puts this Champion of the Perished conveniently at 4/4 out of Lightning Bolt range.
Not bad.
Go ahead.
Not bad. 1 die to a lightning bolt, but it will die to the engineered.
Oh, that's really painful.
So this card is a Sunburst mechanic. So I paid 1 blue, it comes with 1 counter, and then I paid 2 and I destroy every permanent that costs 1. I think I'll do it now. No reason to. We have some combat trades. I don't know. It's in a €100 zombie deck. I can't play around anything.
You don't know the meta?
I don't crack the explosives.
Ah, that's very painful.
Yeah. And I'll pass to you.
I'll untap. And I will draw. I'm very low on resources here, but maybe my aggressive game plan can just push barely across the finish line.
Do you have something to bring back that Gravecrawler?
It's not that great, but it's another Gravecrawler.
Oh.
And they do come in multiples, and as long as you don't have that Ledger Shredder, I don't even get punished for casting the second spell. Go ahead.
And you pass with 2 cards in end.
Yes.
No lands. Interesting. Alright, this seems not the worst. I'll dash a Ragavan.
All right.
The creatures can't block, so
Yeah, they can't.
there you go.
I'll have to Fatal Push it before it gets to steal my treasure.
Alright, you got a 17.
I do.
And then I'll play top land and pass you.
Okay, okay. I can get behind that.
Yes.
I'll untap and take my draw. I'll head into the red zone.
6.
I'll crack this Silent Clearing to see if I can find maybe a zombie that's a little more useful. I'll play a Swamp, and I'll cast Modern All-Star. Please don't spell snare this. It's too good, Andrea. Putrid Goblin.
Wow. No, I don't have spells in there.
Putrid Goblin, now you get to witness the power. It's a 2-mana 2/2 with Persist. So if it dies without any -1/-1 counters, it comes back with 1. Go ahead.
Too good.
Too good.
I mean, my deck has removal spells, but your creature don't seem to want to die.
Yeah, they don't. They really don't.
Play a land and pass.
Okay, okay. I'll untap. Am I about to witness some lightning bolts on Gravecrawlers?
You have a persist creature. I can't kill them all.
I want to keep Champion of the Parish in my hand for a backup in case all of my zombies die again somehow, so I can get those Gravecrawlers back from the graveyard.
2.
Yeah, before combat, I guess I'll cast a Thran Vigil, which is the enchantment that lets me put counters when creatures leave my graveyard.
Whoa, this is a combo.
It is a combo.
All right, in response, I have to annihilate the future goblin. Or it comes in back. It goes to...
Yes, all right. So this dies before this enters the battlefield.
Yeah. In response, they deal 2 damage to it.
It comes back with a -1/-1 counter,
Yes.
so now it's a 1/1.
And then that resolves.
Then this resolves. Since it just came back, it does have Summoning Sickness, so I'll only attack with both of my Gravecrawlers.
And I don't think I can take this, though.
Yeah, I don't think so either.
But then you reanimate it, you put a -1/-1 count. It counters the counter.
Yep, it does.
I go to 2.
You go to 2. Are the zombies getting there? Go ahead.
Just fetch down to 1. I think so. I'll fetch down to 1.
You know who's coming for you.
I
It's
know.
the Putrid Goblin.
I have some top decks, but yeah. I'll go. Draw. Okay. I'm not dead. I'll play a Ragavan.
Okay.
And I'll pass to you.
All right. I'll untap. I'll take my draw. And given that you're at 1, I'm just gonna get into the red zone here.
Yes, I'll go to block.
Please do.
I'll block the Putrid Goblin. And I will annually hit a Grave Crawler.
Okay, so this dies.
And then I will annually hit the other Grave Crawler.
So much heat in here.
Yeah, at some point I had 3 annually hit in hand, then the board stayed last turn.
All right, so these trade.
We trade. So
Everyone who complains about Ragavan, just play Putrid Goblin. Like, what are you doing? You're missing out on a modern all-star.
yeah, do you have a zombie?
I might do, Andrea.
no.
I just hope your last card isn't a counterspell. Champion of the Parish.
No counterspell.
Yes. All right, so now I get to reanimate this Gravecrawler.
Yes.
And because it leaves my graveyard, first this gets 1/1/1 counter, and then it gets a second because of its own trigger. And then I'll reanimate the other Gravecrawler, which once again lets me put a +1/+1 counter. This time I'll put it on the original Gravecrawler, and then this one gets another counter.
Yes.
And you know what? Why not? I'll just play the Swamp Audit in my hand.
All right.
Go ahead.
It's okay. We have engineered explosives in our deck, so
Oh no.
we just need to draw it though. Is it here? It is not.
Oh.
Zombie wins game 2.
For game 3, I replace 1 Thran Vigil for 1 Collective Brutality, which is basically like another duress against Andrea, but it also gets rid of some of the early threats from Andrea's side, which are much more devastating when Andrea's on the play.
Game 3, I'm finally on the play.
I'm a bit scared.
Can I get a turn 1 Ragavan, please?
And by a bit scared, I mean terrified.
Game 3, it's another game and it's another 4-land, 3 spell. Once again, I have, this time, a couple of engineered explosives. They are good in the matchup, hoping Yamin doesn't draw too many Grave Crawlers like the previous game. Let's keep. It's not turn 1 Ragavan, but it's a keep.
My opening hands have been fire today. Infernal Grasp in my starting hand is great because Murktide Regent isn't the large threat that it usually is, and all the rest still lets me play really aggressively. Yeah, for me as well. No turn 1 Ragavan, but a keep.
Alright, let's go. Steam Vent's tapped, your turn.
I was about to say I'll untap, but I won't. I'll play a Swamp, and I'll cast a Gravecrawler.
That's my enemy number 1.
It really is. Go ahead.
Untap, draw. And have nothing to do here. It's Polluted Delta, your turn.
Are you gonna tell me that you have nothing in hand? And
No,
then
nothing.
nothing. Zero.
0 cards.
In that case, I'll head into the red zone.
18.
I'll play another Swamp and cast a Carrion Feeder.
Results.
And then I heard you really like this guy, so I brought a second one. Gravecrawler back for more. Go ahead.
I'll fetch down to 17. And we'll get a top land. Man, these Grave Crawlers.
I mean, they're also kind of my only insurance against engineered explosives.
Yeah. Okay, I draw.
Yeah.
I'll play Engineered Explosives.
No!
For 1, but, you know, they come back. Pass to you.
All right. I'll untap. And I will draw. Yeah, I mean, you take 5?
I take it all. I got a 12.
I don't love exposing this, but I think it's what I have to do.
What is it?
It's an Undead Augur again.
Okay, so what is it again?
When it or another zombie dies, I draw a card and I lose 1 life.
That's good.
You can make me lose a lot of life here.
No, that's fine. They're resolved. If I simply crack this in response to the Undead Augur, Yamin just recasts Gravecrawler in the same turn, and then I'm just behind. I'm behind. I don't like my situations, honestly. I'm gonna bounce this Undead Augur end of turn, keep the Engineered Explosives around. Let's see how the game progresses, but I don't look very good right now.
I am thrilled. Go ahead.
You have 3 cards.
I do.
I am not in a good shape. I think instead of cracking the explosives, I just bounce the Undead Augur.
Okay, bounce on Augur is annoying because now I have to sacrifice some of my board to draw cards, because otherwise Andrea can crack the engineered explosives and I'm left without a board and without cards. So yeah, I'll have to find a balance here. In response, I will sacrifice one Gravecrawler to see what happens. I'll draw a card, go down to 19, and put a +1/+1 counter on the Carrion Feeder. And with that in mind, I'll also sacrifice the second Gravecrawler, going down to 18, putting a second counter on here, but first drawing a card.
Okay.
And then the bounce resolves.
I can go.
You can go.
Untap draw. I will lightning bolt your Carrion.
That's unfortunate. The way it goes.
I'll pass the turn.
Untap, upkeep, draw. I don't want to put another 1-drop on the battlefield. It all just dies to engineered explosives. Instead, I'll play the second Undead Augur, but at this point I have to worry about my life total a bit, because yeah, that's a lot of card draw and a lot of damage to myself. I mean, you know it's coming. Here's another Undead Augur.
Resolves.
All right, then I'll cast a Gravecrawler,
Resolves.
play a Swamp, and cast yet another Gravecrawler.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Fetch down to 11. And I will simply play a Brazen Borrower.
Yeah,
And then I'll go.
sure.
I'll start with a Consider. Surveil.
Is that a good card? Don't tell me it's a good
This is
card.
a very good card. It's the Unlicensed Hearse. It's finally stopping these Gravecrawlers in the future.
Okay. Unlicensed Hearse is very annoying. That being said, it might not be on time. It might already be too late. So hopefully, once again, I can push across the finish line somehow.
And then I will Annihilate your Undead Augur.
All right, so it dies, and for that matter, I draw a card and I lose 1 life down to 17.
And then I'll attack you for 3.
All right, down to 14 I go.
Pass the turn. We have a lot of cards in it, and I only have 2, so
Yeah,
I don't feel so good about this.
I'll add another one to my hand. Play a 5th Swamp. And then first of all, it's time to hit the red zone again.
7.
It feels like I'm only playing like 3 cards in this deck. I'll cast another Undead Augur.
That's good.
It is. It's a bit scary.
Yeah.
Because I'll cast another one.
Ooh, now it's a lot of damage.
It is. But I'm sure it'll end well, Andrea.
Yes. For one of the 2.
Go ahead.
I'll exile your 2 creatures in your graveyard, and I'll get 2 counter on my hearse. I mean, technically, this card should be down here, but I like to play this way, even in the tournaments.
Yeah. So once you crew the hearse, it becomes
Yes.
as big as the amount of cards it has exiled. So we'll just
Counters.
indicate it that way.
I draw a card.
You do.
If I attack with Brazen Borrower here, then I only have 1 blocker back. I prefer to keep more blockers, so 2, because I think that this Murktide will be lethal by itself next turn. So let's just play Murktide and pass back. First play I make is my friend Murktide Regent,
That's very annoying.
which comes into play with 3+1/+1 counter. I think I'm okay just passing the turn and keeping up extra blockers.
All right. I'll untap. I'll draw. And I'll say that Murktide Regent is a very scary blocker and a very scary attacker. However, Torben did include Infernal Grasp.
Okay, that's not the worst.
All right. So this
Not
goes
bad at all.
to my graveyard. I go down to 12. So I will head to
Okay.
combat. And attack with all of these.
Okay. Well, that's lethal attack, so I have to do something. Okay, I will start by crewing the Unlicensed Hearse.
That resolves, and you may go to blocks.
I can go to block. All right, good. I dodged the fatal push. So I will block the Undead Augur,
Yep.
and then I will crack the explosives.
All right. So both of these Gravecrawlers die,
Yes.
and there's 4
Yes.
triggers on the stack to let me draw cards.
That's
so
important.
I'll draw 1, 2, 3, 4.
Okay.
I was hoping to pick up a fatal push here.
You didn't?
I didn't.
I was really dodging it, yes. And before the damage, I will target your 2 grave crawlers.
Yep. So both of those get exiled. All right. So now this augur dies.
Yeah. So I go to 5 and you go to 6 because that triggers as well, right?
Yep.
So you draw 2 more cards.
I do draw 2 more cards. 1, 2.
Okay. 5 to 6. So you have so many cards.
Yeah, but also 6 isn't a lot.
It is not.
I'll play a swamp.
Yes.
I'll play a champion of the parish.
Okay.
I'll follow up the champion with a putrid goblin.
All right. Good thing it's not an undead augur or.
Just the 4th one out of nowhere, which puts a +1/+1 counter on my champion. And then last but not least, I'll cast a carrion feeder.
Yes.
Another counter here. This does leave me dead to lightning bolt.
That's okay. I don't have it. Don't worry.
I'll take my chances. Go ahead, Andrea.
On top draw. Okay. I'm not lethal yet, so I need to find some help here. I'll search it with the consider.
Oh.
It's the power of blue, just giving you cantrips. Okay. I don't want this.
Yes.
So I'll draw a random card. Okay, that's good.
Oh no, don't tell me it's good.
That's very good. I'll start with an engineered explosives for 1,
Oh no.
and I will crack it.
In response, I think I'll have to sacrifice the undead augur, because otherwise I just take so much damage.
Yeah, I didn't think about this. Opportunity for you. It's true.
So I take 1, I go down to 5.
Yes, no, you don't kill you. 5 to 5.
I'll draw yet another card, and then the
Explosives for 1.
explosives resolve.
Okay. So here we are. I think I'll take the chance and just attack you down to 2.
Down to 2 I go.
Pass the turn.
Oh man.
What is it?
We'll have to see.
I don't know if you can push them.
I'll draw.
Okay.
This is not looking good. I'll play the silent clearing.
Yes.
I'll crack the silent clearing.
That's good news with all those cards again.
I'll draw. Oh my goodness. No. Oh no. Infernal Grasp doesn't do it. Oh. Well, alright. I'll cast a Duress targeting you. So you'll reveal your hand. I choose a non-creature. We discard that. I mean, yeah, it's the Unholy Heat.
So you can guess. I had a lot of choices last turn.
Yeah.
I don't think I had lethal. Maybe if you think I had lethal in the chat, you can write it down.
I had the sweet combo lined up of Thran Vigil plus the Carrion Feeder and the Putrid Goblin, where both the champion and the Carrion Feeder would have been as large as I wished. Pass the turn.
All right, I will tap this to exile 2 creatures.
Yep.
Untap, draw. I will attack in the air. Wait. Infernal Grasp?
I'll cast an Infernal Grasp.
Oh,
So painful. Good games.
Good games.
Oh, an Infernal Grasp. It's
So close.
Yeah.
It was very close. Like I honestly thought I was going to lose when you drew those like 4 cards at some point.
right. I thought so too, with so much card advantage, but I was actually aware of the threat of how much life I was losing when you cast the Brazen Borrower, because I don't block that. I don't block a flyer. I just don't.
I figured I had to counter race because, you know, at the long run I'm gonna lose, so I have to win with like you have 7 cards in it.
Yeah, exactly. I'm so sorry, Torben. Even though your deck lost, you still get €50 in Cardmarket credit, because we don't want to let you, leave the show without anything in your hand. So you can at least buy half of the deck, I guess. In the meantime, if you like this kind of content, please do let us know in the comments below, because your comments do help shape the future content on this very channel. Also, check out Andrea's content on all of his channels, because he puts out a lot of competitive Modern and other formats as well. And with that being said, all of us will see you in the next video.